Hey everybody, one of the questions that I get the most as a volume wholesaler is how do you build your buyers list? How do you build this buyers list up as big as possible? And so today what I want to do is I want to answer that question. And I'm going to give you the top 3 ways today that I would go out and build my buyers list right now if I didn't have a lot of money. So I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my buyers list over the past 5 years. And what I've been able to do is take my average profit per deal from when I started to about $6,000 to now where we're making about $20,000 per deal in the same markets. So a lot of the stuff that we used over time has cost us money, but there are a few things that we use now and we've used in the past that don't cost very much money and have been able to blow up our buyers list to be able to maximize our wholesale fees. So let's jump into these 3 tips. And on the third one is absolutely amazing. Like I'm going to jump into this one. So stick around for the last one because it's something that I think nobody out there is doing. And it's probably the best tip that I could possibly give you. So, and it's free. So the first one is reverse bandit signs. So when I got started in this business, I would get a deal and I would try to figure out how to move it. And I had a very small buyers list, just a couple people on there. So what I used to do is I used to put up 5 or 6 signs around. And I know you all know what bandit signs are, like we buy houses cash, we pay cash, we close fast, those kind of things. But I would use these kind of reverse bandit signs around the property. And if you don't have a property under contract, you can use the areas that you're marketing in to build your buyers list. So what I would do is I would put up some bandit signs around that house. And if I had it under contract and it was vacant, I would put one in the yard and things like that, and all around these areas, like the intersections and stuff around the neighborhood. And it said, typically, like I would put cash only, 3-2, like investor special, maybe handyman special, stuff like that, and have my phone number on there. And not my personal phone number, obviously. We'll talk about that in other videos. But a phone number that would kind of forward to either a voicemail or to a call rail to me or one of my team. And so what that did was, what I saw was other people in the neighborhood would call on that and say, hey, it looks like, where's this house? I'm interested. I have some cash. So I would put like 3-2, cash only. Sometimes I'd even put like 25,000 or 40,000 or something like that, and then a phone number. And as a flipper, I would drive around, and as another wholesaler, I would drive around and call those numbers and say, hey, can you add me to your buyers list? So people will call you and ask to be added to your buyers list and just kind of blow it up. You could also have like text me at this number. So you could set up just a number that people text to be added to the buyers list. It can be voicemail, all that stuff. So reverse bandit signs are amazing. And some of the deals that I had, what I found was the neighbor wanted to move their kid into the neighborhood, and they were cash buyers, but because it was maybe a $40,000, $50,000 house and needed some work and some repairs, and they would pay more than an investor would. So I would be able to find people kind of local in those neighborhoods to be able to buy these properties that I had. So think about that. That's one option. It's a great option to sell your houses for a little bit more money and also to build your buyers list. So reverse bandit signs work really, really well. And how you word those, lots of different options there. Number 2, and this is one that's happened more recently for us, probably over the last year or so, is Facebook groups. So Facebook groups, and I'm talking like RIA groups, areas where there's a ton of investors. So whenever we go into a new market, we look for the local groups. So there's a bunch of real estate investment club groups and meetup groups and stuff like that you can join in the local area. And I don't mean, first of all, you can say, hey, I'm a new wholesaler in the area. Do you guys want to be added to my buyers list? And the people will put their emails right there, right? And possibly their phone numbers if you say, I also text out my deals. So that's one way to go. But the best way to build it really fast in those markets is to hire a VA or potentially do it yourself if you don't have a couple bucks an hour. But I would hire a VA, a virtual assistant, for like $2 or $3 an hour and have them go into those Facebook groups and look for every single email. Because what they can do is they can go back the last year, 2 years, however long, and people post like, hey, exactly the post I'm talking about. I want to build my buyers list. What's your email address? And they're posting their emails in there from like the last year. And so when we just went into a new market, we got 1,000 email addresses in like a couple hours of a VA's work. They're just putting it in spreadsheets for us. And then we take it and we put it into our system. So this is a phenomenal way to build your buyers list. As far as RIA groups go too, you can join the local RIA group. And a lot of times they'll have a directory and things like that may be available in public. So I've gone into a couple markets where there've been public directories with phone numbers and email addresses, and we've been able to just kind of download them and scrape them and take that stuff. So think about that. Like, who is already putting their information out there in public that want this stuff? Like, they want your deals, right? They want this stuff. So go grab those email addresses. That number 2 has made us like thousands and thousands of more dollars per deal, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on maybe I paid a VA $300 or $400 total to build that thing for me. The third one is probably the best tip that I can ever give, and it's overlooked by so many wholesalers. It's crazy. So what I do is I get on every single other wholesaler's list. I get on their buyers list, and every time I get a deal emailed to me, I save it. So I'm not talking about being unethical here where I'm trying to go around them to do the deal, but I'll save that address. So that address goes to a spreadsheet. And then we wait for that property to close. And then what we do is I'll add every single deal that a wholesaler sends out. And the bigger wholesalers, you can get on the really big wholesalers in your area, add them to that spreadsheet. About a month later, 2 months later, go back and search that address and see who bought it. If you can see who bought it, then that is a cash buyer. That's somebody who bought from another wholesaler that may or may not be on your list. If you're brand new, likely they're not. And then you can very cheaply skip trace them, get their number or get their address, send them a card or give them a call, text, ringless voicemail, something like that, and say, hey, would you like to be added to my buyers list? I'm doing deals in this area. It looks like you're buying. I mean, these are true cash buyers. These aren't the people that just get added to your list and say that they're cash buyers when they're not, or they're just looky-loos. These are people that are actually buying, right? They bought a house. Then you can talk to them. Hey, what are you looking for? Are you buying? How many houses are you buying? Is this are you working on one at a time? Are you looking for more in this area? Those kind of things. These are true cash buyers. Absolutely amazing. So this one is something that takes a little bit of time, but it hardly takes any money at all, if not none, if you're looking them up in the county records and trying to figure out who they are. And then maybe go find them on Facebook or on white pages for free and all this stuff. So very, very valuable way to add and blow up your buyers list. So those three: reverse bandit signs, Facebook groups, and it's kind of like this reverse cash buyer, right? So whoever's buying in the area. These three ways have blown up my buyers list and have absolutely destroyed it for us. Gone from $6,000 to $20,000 per deal. And in some of our bigger markets like Nashville, we're over $20,000 on average, $25,000, $27,000 per deal, because we're able to build up a very hungry, very frothy buyers list that wants deals all the time, and they're actual true cash buyers. So thousands and thousands of people in every city that we're in on our buyers list, and has allowed me to grow my business. So hopefully that helps. Three best ways that I can give you. There's a lot more that we have. So we have an event, Flip Hacking Live. We go through 10, 20, 30 different strategies. We talk about all this stuff. And at Seven Figure Flipping, this is the kind of stuff that we do on a regular basis. So I hope that helped you. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good day. Bye.